All right, ready to unlock some serious jumping power. We're diving into the world of plyometrics and how they can help you dominate the high jump. And get this, our story starts with a bit of Cold War athletic rivalry.
You know it. The Soviets were really onto something back in the 50s.
Yeah.
Can you believe plyometrics? All about explosive power and whatnot, actually started with triple jumpers.
Triple jumpers. Those folks who are practically flying through the air with all those hops and skips, seems like they'd already have the power part figured out.
You'd think. But they were way ahead of the game. They were already using plyometrics to specifically target and condition their plant leg, the one that takes the brunt of the impact.
That makes sense, I guess. All that force going through that one leg. But okay, what's the science behind this whole bowing factor? What's going on in our muscles that creates this explosion of power?
Imagine like stretching a rubber band. You pull it back and then SNA. That's the magic of plyometrics in a nutshell. It's all about that stretch-shorten cycle.
So you mean our muscles are like internal rubber bands, storing up energy and then releasing it?
Exactly. When you land, those muscles stretch, storing up energy, just like that rubber band. Then, when you push off again, bam! All that energy releases, giving you that extra oomph.
Wow, so it's like our bodies are naturally designed for this kind of efficiency.
It's pretty incredible, but it's not just about being a human rubber band. There's a lot of other things going on, too, like how your brain and muscles talk to each other.
Okay, now you've got to tell me more about that.
So that rapid stretching during landing, it's like a wake-up call to your nervous system. It tells those muscles, hey, get ready to fire even harder when it's time to jump.
Wow, so we're kind of pre-programmed for this. Our bodies are amazing.
They really are. And we're talking milliseconds here. It all happens so fast. And then you add muscle coordination to the mix. That's when you get serious power development.
Fascinating. But how does this type of training compare to other methods, like hitting the weights? Is it one or the other, or can they work together for high jumpers?
It's a great question. Think of it like this. Traditional resistance training, lifting weights and such, that builds a powerful engine. It gives you that foundational strength.
Okay, so that's the base.
Exactly. But plyometrics, that's like fine-tuning that engine for high performance. It's all about speed and reactivity.
So which one comes out on top for high jumpers? Give us the inside scoop.
Well, there was this study back in '93 by Wilson and his team, and they actually looked into this. They found that ballistic training, kind of similar to plyometrics but uses lighter weights, actually did a better job at building power than just regular weight training or plyometrics alone, especially for athletes who are already lifting, too.
So it's like a 1-2 punch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about finding that sweet spot, the right balance for what your body needs and what you're aiming for in your training. But remember, plyometrics isn't just about jumping around like a kid again. It's about understanding the how and the why behind that explosiveness.
So we're talking about explosiveness and high jumpers. Are all high jumpers the same, or are there different techniques that play into this?
Oh, there are definitely different approaches. You've got your speed floppers and your power floppers. It all comes down to those muscle fibers, fast twitch for speed, slow twitch for, well, you guessed it, strength.
The age-old battle of fast twitch versus slow twitch.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing when it comes to those record-breaking jumps, the speed floppers are the ones who usually come out on top.
More often than not, yeah, they're like lightning on the track. We're talking an approach speed of almost 8.5 meters per second. Power floppers are a bit slower on the approach, closer to 7 meters per second.
Okay, so there's a noticeable difference. But what about the time they spend pushing off the ground? Is there a difference there too?
Absolutely. Speed floppers might only be on the ground for like a fraction of a second. I'm talking 0.13 to 0.18 seconds, and power floppers are a tad slower, around 0.2 seconds. It's amazing how much of a difference those tiny fractions of a second can make.
It's mind-blowing. But no matter what your flopping style is, that moment when your foot hits the ground has got to be critical, right?
You hit the nail on the head. That plant phase, that's where it's at. That's the moment you've got to minimize your contact time with the ground and convert as much of that horizontal speed you've built up into vertical lift.
So it's all about the transfer of energy. Yeah, so tell me more about the mechanics of how that actually works.
So picture this. Your plant foot makes contact, right? But here's the thing. Those leg muscles, they're already preflexed. It's like a coiled spring just waiting to explode.
Wow. So it's like our bodies instinctively know to prepare for that burst of energy.
Exactly. And that preflex, along with the upward swing of your free leg, it's like this powerful lever that propels your body upward. But here's the kicker, that plant leg. It's got to be straight as an arrow, any bend at all, and you lose power.
It's incredible how much goes into that split-second movement. Makes you appreciate the skill of these athletes even more.
For sure. And that's not even getting into pre-activation. Remember that whole stretch-shorten cycle we talked about earlier? Well, get this. That landing phase where your muscles stretch, it actually preps them for that explosive takeoff.
Preps them. How so?
Well, think about it. That surge in muscle activity when you land, it's like your muscles are getting a heads up. They're literally getting ready for that big push off. And remember all that stored energy we talked about? Yeah, well, that gets transferred from the stretching phase to the shortening phase, giving you even more power for the jump.
It's like our bodies are these crazy, efficient machines, always optimizing for maximum output. It's incredible. It really is amazing how much our bodies are capable of, even in those tiny moments.
But is this pre-activation something we can actually train? Like, can we consciously tap into that power?
That's a great question, and honestly, it's something researchers are still trying to figure out. But there's some interesting research that suggests our perception of the challenge. Like seeing that high jump bar getting higher and higher might actually have a direct impact on pre-activation.
So the bigger the challenge, the more those muscles are ready to fire. It seems that way. Like our bodies know when it's time to really bring it. But okay, enough theory. Let's talk about what our listeners can actually do. What are some plyometric exercises that can help them unleash their inner high jumper?
Let's hear it.
Well, a 1989 study by Reed highlighted some key exercises for high jumpers. Two of the big ones are modified depth jumps and the scissors technique.
Modified depth jumps. Okay, that sounds a little less intimidating than just plain depth jumps. What makes them modified?
Good question. It's not so much about how high you're jumping from, but more about that upward explosion. Instead of using a high platform, think more like a low box, something around 15 to 20 centimeters high. And the focus is all about that soft landing with a minimal bend in your knees. It's kind of like you're practicing that straight plant leg for the high jump.
So it's all about training those fast twitch fibers to work their magic.
You got it.
Okay.
No, about that scissors technique.
Okay, yeah. What's with the name? Am I picturing high jumpers suddenly turning into synchronized swimmers in midair?
Not quite. But you're definitely onto something with the whole synchronization aspect. It's like a mini rehearsal for your muscles, teaching them exactly how to move and activate for that perfect high jump.
Like a dress rehearsal for your muscles. I love it. Break it down for us. Why is this so beneficial?
Well, first off, it helps you really feel that load in your plant leg. That pre-activation we keep talking about. This drill really helps solidify that. Second, it helps you develop that super important stiff leg plant and a fast, powerful pull-through with your trail leg. That's key for converting that horizontal speed into lift.
So it's not just about jumping high, it's about jumping right.
Exactly. Technique is king. Plus, the scissors technique really emphasizes an upright posture, which is crucial for balance and alignment throughout the whole jump. And you know what that means. Better energy transfer and ultimately those soaring jumps.
This has been amazing. We've gone from Cold War rivalries to rubber band muscles to the importance of a straight leg. It really makes you realize how much goes into a movement that happens in the blink of an eye.
It's pretty mind-blowing. And remember, it's not just about brute force. It's about working with your body's natural mechanics, training those lightning-fast reflexes, and tapping into the mental side of performance, too.
And that's what we've been talking about this whole time. Plyometrics is about so much more than just jumping around. It's about understanding the hows and whys behind explosive power and using that knowledge to elevate your training, no matter what your sport or goal is.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And as you start incorporating these techniques, I want you to think about something. How much of athletic performance is physical? And how much is mental? Could being aware of that pre-activation, that split-second anticipation before you jump, actually be the key to unlocking even greater heights?
Now that's something to think about. Great stuff as always. We'll be back next time with another deep dive into the science of human performance. Until then, keep those legs strong and those jumps high.